Shalom. Out here once again. Shlaki. Wind blowing hard. Hopefully, Lord willing, you can hear. But first, I want to start by giving all honor, glory, and praises unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash. Give honors to the apostles and elders of the great millstone, rule well, and walk towards his knowledge. Salutations to you, sincere Akim out there that's doing the work with true sincerity. All right, shalom to you. Shalom to the Akwaf that believe as well. Out here on the highways and hedges again on a Monday because we had to reschedule camp, but I had to reschedule camp. It's all good, out here, still to do the work, So I had a subject matter I want to get into because here it is. The Lord has great judgments for the nation of Esau, Edom, and then you got it where people don't believe the Edomites are still around. All right, but the Edomites are yet still around. The Edomites are here in rulership, okay? Because the scriptures tell you that Esau is in the world and Jacob is the beginning of the follower. Okay, so Esau has to be ruling. Okay, now we know that when you go to Genesis the 25th chapter, it breaks down and describe how Esau is, or as far as how you look at his complexion, and also Esau can like other nations as well. All right, you got the Edomite foreigners, okay, but also it tell you his characteristics. Okay, the book of same book, but the 27th chapter it tell you his blessings. Okay, which is the sword. Then he would enjoy the fatness of the earth and the dew of heaven from above. So we know that that the man that lives by his sword, which you would call today the so-called white man, all right, which they're the biblical Edomites, okay, and they're yet still here, all right. And when you go into the book of Ezekiel 35th chapter, okay, you got the book of Ezekiel the 35th chapter. Let me use my tablet. Go to it. This is Ezekiel. Turn the app load up. This is Ezekiel chapter 35 and verse 1. Moreover, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir and prophesy against it. So we know that the people of Seir would be the Edomites, okay? It tell you in Genesis 36 and 8 that thus dwelt Esau in Mount Seir. Esau is Edom, and he's the father of the Edomites, okay? So, continuing on, we know he's the father of the Edomites, okay? And the Edomites was never done away with because there's a prophecy in the scriptures where the nation of Esau would not be remaining. You want to grab Obadiah verse 18 for me, please? It tell you that in the book of Obadiah that there should not be remaining in the house of Esau, Edom, okay? And we know that there's no recorded history where the Edomites was never done away with, okay? Now, when we go to Obadiah 18, which is the prophecy, okay, read that.
Book of Obadiah 18. And the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame, and the house of Esau for stubble, and they shall kindle in them, and devour them, and there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for the Most High has spoken it.
So that's the prophecy of that the Edomites will not be remaining, meaning that it won't be any more Edomites left, okay? They haven't taken place yet because when you go into the history, okay, the history of the Edomites, when they came into power, okay, as the Greeks, okay, they came into power as the Romans as well because the Greeks transitioned into the Romans, okay, which you go into the book of Daniel. Okay, let me get that real quick. Because remember, the Greeks took down the Medo-Persians, okay? It says here in Daniel 8, and 21, it says, and the rough goat is the king of Grecia, and the great horn that is between his eyes is the first king. So that's referring to who? The Edomites. Go to your when you go to the blue letter, okay? Let me see. Is my app working right today on this tablet? When you read it on the NLT, it tell you the first king of the Greeks. All right. Let me see. Can I go to it real quick? This is the NLT. Oh, I ain't even turn on my internet. Go to your blue letter for me. When y'all got a blue letter? Blue letter. Go to click on my Bibles and click on the NLT. Go to Daniel 8 and verse 21. On my Bibles, which is on the hand, those 3 marks, and it should say my Bibles, and then click down on NLT. Yeah. You found it?
This is the book of Daniel
8:21.
8 verse 21.
Yeah.
And then NLT.
Yeah.
The shaggy male goat represents the king of Greece.
Hold on. Y'all read loud, you know, traffic coming by.
The shaggy male goat represents the king of Greece. And the large horn between his eyes represents the first king of the Greek Empire.
Greek Empire, okay? Now, somebody will grab, when y'all grab First Maccabees, the first chapter. And this is why the so-called white people, which are the biblical Edomites, they love the Greeks so much, and they say civilization started with the Greeks because they know that them their ancestors. See? But, you know, the Greeks was that was the third beast. Okay? But that the prophet Daniel had seen. The third beast that took down the Medo-Persians, that took down Darius, it was who? Alexander the Greek. Okay? Somebody get it, you can read it.
First Maccabees what?
First Maccabees 1:1. Start the first verse.
First Maccabees 1 verse 1. And it happened after that Alexander, son of Philip, the Macedonian, who came out of the land of Shechem, had smitten Darius, king of the Persians and Medes, and he reigned in his stead, the first over Greece.
The first over Greece. Okay? That's why you talk to these Edomites, you ask about when civilization started, they say it started with the Greeks, which is a lie. See? That's a lie. But they say it because why? That's their people. That's their history. Okay? When you go into history of the Greeks, right, under Alexander, keep reading on.
Verse 2. And made many wars, and won many strongholds, and slew the kings of the earth.
Keep reading.
And
just read it so you understand.
And went through to the ends of the earth, and took spoils of many nations, and so much that the earth was quiet before him. Whereupon he was exalted, and his heart was lifted up. And he gathered a mighty strong host, and ruled over countries and nations and kings.
Because he conquered a lot. Okay, he conquered a lot. All right, the Greeks conquered the known world at that time, especially when they became the Romans. But we're gonna keep reading. Go ahead.
Who became tributaries unto him, and after these he fell sick and perceived that he should die. Wherefore he called his servants, such as were honorable, and had been brought up with him from his youth,
There you go.
and parted his kingdom among them while he was yet alive.
Right. So that's when the so-called white man first came to power. Okay, and they tell you, you keep reading, they tell you that evils will multiply in the earth, because when you know who the Edomites are, it tells you that in Malachi 1:4 that they're the border of wickedness. That's why evils multiply in the earth. You begin to see lawlessness, okay, on the extreme level, because they were created to be Esau was created to be the wicked, okay. Now when you go to the book of go to the 4th chapter, verse 29.
Maccabees 4.
Yeah, same book. Go to the 4th chapter, verse 29. Because this is who Judas Maccabees was fighting against. The Idumeans. The Idumeans. That's who they was fighting against. And somebody will Google Idumea, I-D-U-M-E-A. Somebody will Google that.
First Maccabees chapter 4, verse 29.
Yeah, read that.
So they came into Idumea and pitched their tents at Bethshuda. And Judas met them with 10,000 men. And when he saw that mighty army, he prayed and said, Blessed thou, O Savior of Israel.
Yeah. This is Judas. All right. Judas Maccabees, go ahead.
Who did quell the violence of the mighty man by the hand of thy servant, David, and gave the host of strangers into the hands of Jonathan, the son of Saul, and his arm bearer. Shut up this army in the hand of thy people Israel.
So the point is, Judas Maccabees he come up against the Idumeans. You got Idumea on Google. Can you read that for me, bro?
The meaning of Idumea is red. Idumea is generally used as a boy's name. It consists of 5 letters and 3 syllables and is pronounced Idumea.
It should say that it means Edom.
Yes. Well, no, they took that out.
Yeah. It's a Greek way of saying Edom. Matter of fact, you go to
Define.
Go to Ezekiel 35:15. Ezekiel 35:15. Because in Ezekiel, the 35th chapter, which I'm reading in already, it says, let me see that real quick.
Okay.
Matter of fact, can you read that for me, please?
Ezekiel 35.
Start at 1. Matter of fact, start at 1. Read 1 and 2, then jump to 15.
Ezekiel 35, verse 1. Moreover, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir, and prophesy against it.
Yeah, prophesy against it.
And say unto it, Thus says the Lord God, Behold, O Mount Seir, I am against thee, and I will stretch out mine hand against thee, and I will make thee most desolate.
Jump to 15. Because we know that, again, Genesis 36:8, thus dwelt Esau in Mount Seir. Esau is Edom. He's the father of the Edomites, okay? So jump down to verse 15. What does it say in 15?
Verse 15, As thou didst rejoice at the inheritance of the house of Israel,
Yep, there you go.
because it was desolate, so will I do unto thee. Thou shalt be desolate, O Mount Seir, and all Idumea,
All Idumea.
even all of it, and they shall know that I am the Lord.
So you got, is it on the blue letter? You got the blue letter app?
No,
If you go on the blue letter Bible, get that real quick. Ezekiel 35:15 on the blue letter app. You click on interlinear, go to the word Idumea. It's going to say it.
What verse is that?
35:15. Click on that. Go to Idumea.
Idumea, Edom.
See, Edom.
The Edom, Idumean descendants of Esau.
The Esau. Okay. So that's who it's referred to. So the Idumeans are the Edomites. Okay. The Idumeans are the Edomites. So here it is. Judas Maccabees, all right, during the time of the Greeks, is fighting against who? The Idumeans. When you go to the book of 2 Maccabees 10 and 15, somebody on grab 2 Maccabees 10 and 15. 2 Maccabees 10 and 15, all right? But, yeah, get that. Because eventually the Greeks would take strongholds in Judea and in the land of Israel. All right, you read it when you got it.
Second Maccabees.
And just read it loud so they can hear you because again the traffic.
Second Maccabees chapter 15 verse 10.
No, 10 and 15.
Or 10 verse 15. Now when King Alexander.
No, second Maccabees, the 10th chapter. Second Maccabees, chapter 10 and 15. You got it? Read it.
Second Maccabees chapter 15. And therewithal.
No, chapter 10, verse 15.
Chapter 10, verse 15.
Yeah.
And therewithal the Idumeans, having gotten into their hands the most commodious holes,
Yep.
kept the Jews occupied.
Yeah, they was oppressing them. When you go into the war in the so-called Middle East, what did Esau do? He set up a military post, which is what? Occupying the land.
Exactly.
He went to their lands with the sword. That's what Micah the second chapter about. You know, and they covet fields and take them by violence. So they oppress a man, even the man his heritage.
Yes.
So the strongholds that Esau got in the so-called Middle East, he's occupying those lands. He's occupying the oil fields of Syria. He occupied the oil fields of Iraq, you know, Afghanistan, the poppy fields.
Diamond mines.
Yeah, the diamonds, all the resources, because resources, that's how you get riches. All right, when you gather resources, that translate into money, wealth. Who control that? Who got that in their hand? The Edomites, the elites of Esau, Edom. Okay, that again, their blessing is what? That they will enjoy the fatness of the earth. All right, and they're enjoying the fatness. Okay, go ahead. You're gonna be in the camera, so you want to step down a little bit. Might call you. All right,
And receiving those that were banished from Jerusalem, they went about to nourish war.
So the Idumeans was nourishing war against the Jews, which were the southern kingdom Israelites, Judah, Benjamin, Levi, primarily. Okay. Now go to Matthew. Somebody grab Matthew 2 and 1. Because this now we understand that the Edomites was the Greeks. All right. They came into power first under Alexander. All right. Then we know that the men that came after him, you have the main four generals, they reigned in the stead. Okay. Especially this guy Antiochus, surname Epiphanes, which you know that to be Antiochus the fourth. That was during that Hellenization period that was sorely oppressing Jacob. Okay? You got it? No, go to the blue letter and read that. Go to the blue letter and read that. Because you want to look up the Herod. Go to your Google, type in Antipater the Idumean. Antipater, Antipater, the Idumean.
Okay, got it.
Read Matthew 2 and 1.
The book of St. Matthew 2 and 1.
I'm just proving that the Edomites, all right, which again, if you know history, the Greeks transitioned to the Romans. Okay? And the Romans was ruling over Israel too. All right? That was a long rule. That's why some scholars call it the Greco-Roman Empire or rule or era. Okay, go ahead, read that.
St. Matthew 2:1. Now when Yahushua was born in Bethlehem
So when Yahushua was born, the Messiah was born, right? Go ahead.
of Judea, in the days of Herod the king,
Yeah, Herod. Okay.
behold, there came wise men from the east to Jerusalem.
Now look up Herod.
I have it.
Oh, you got. Hold that real quick. Hold that real quick.
Antipater.
Yeah. You okay?
Herodes, a name of a royal family that flourished among the Jews. And
You gotta raise your voice. They can't, all the traffic behind you, these cars behind you, they can't hear you.
the name of a royal family that flourished among the Jews in the times of Yahushua and the apostles. Herod the king was the son of Antipater of Idumea.
Of Idumea. Now we read the info you got, brother.
Antipater, the Idumean. Antipater 1, the Idumean, 113 or 114 BCE to 43 BCE,
Yep.
was the founder of the Herodian dynasty.
Herodian dynasty. That's where their name Herod comes from. There was different Herods. See?
And father of Herod the Great.
Herod the Great.
According to Josephus, he was the son of Antipas and had formerly held that name.
See, there you go. Even and then you read into Josephus. Josephus got a lot of accounts of these people that you call white, but they're really the biblical Edomites. Okay? So we know that the Edomites, all right, are stood around. Now, when you go to the Sullivan Comeback Bible Dictionary, you go to Edom. So I'm gonna read here real quick. It says Edom, it means red. It says, I'm gonna jump down. It says Edom figures prominently in the prophetic scriptures as the scene of great future judgments. It says, she is the only neighbor of the Israelites who was not given any promise of mercy from the Heavenly Father. So they're the nation that's not promised any mercy from the Most High. The Most High ain't gonna show no mercy. Okay? Now, when you get the book of James 2 and 13. The book of James 2 and 13, and it reads, so again. Here we go. Book of James 2 and 13, for he should have judgment without mercy that had showed no mercy. All right, and the Edomites didn't show no mercy. You go to the book of Isaiah 47, they tell you about that. All right, and you would grab that Isaiah 47 and I think it's around somewhere around the 9th verse, where it says they have shown no mercy to younger. Matter of fact, start at 1.
Book of Isaiah, chapter 47, verse 1. Come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Sit on the ground, there is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans.
Right, just because when you know who the daughter of Babylon is, that's spoken about in the book of Psalms, the 137th chapter. It mentions Edom and it mentions them being the daughter of Babylon. All right, O daughter of Babylon, who ought to be destroyed. It said what? Remember, O Lord, the children of Edom. Okay, O daughter of Babylon, who ought to be destroyed, and the Lord is going to destroy the Edomites, but they have to serve out captivity first. All right, And it tells you that the Lord has a great slaughter in the land of Idumea. They're not over in Mount Seir right now. The Edomites is in power. The elites of this world, the powers that be, them are the top Edomites. The central banking families. The 1925 edition of the Jewish Encyclopedia tell you that modern day Jewry is Edom, Esau. Now, why would they say that? Why would they say that it wasn't true? Modern day Jewry is Esau. Esau is Edom, according to the scriptures. Okay? So these Edomites are back. When the Renaissance began, okay, you had what? Iconoclasm, okay, where they started to destroy the religious art that had the real images of the Most High, His Son, the angels, the Israelites. They was destroyed. A lot of them was destroyed by who? The Edomites. Okay? They didn't just do that. Okay, they didn't just do that in the Renaissance period. They did that during the time of the Greeks. Matter of fact, if somebody want to get First Maccabees, was that 2:48? Is that? Am I correct? First Maccabees 2:48, is it? Where it says, when the heathen start to paint likeness of themselves.
You saved them all from the hands of the Gentiles.
That's First Maccabees 3:48. I'm sorry, First Maccabees 3:48. They didn't just do that during the Renaissance. This time, the Renaissance is meaning rebirth, all right, or renewal of them coming back into power. All right, you got it?
Yes.
You can read it. Call it and read it.
First Maccabees 3:48. And laid open the book of the law, wherein the heathen had sought to paint the likenesses of their images.
Yeah, so they did that during the time of the Greeks too. All right. So iconoclasm started even during the time when they came to power as the Greeks. All right. When you look up them names, that wasn't the actual Japhetic people. The Japhetic people, the Etruscans and all that, them the people of Japhet. Okay, which is a people of color, meaning they had brown pigmentation. All right, they were pushed out of that land, and then the Edomites don't know those names. Okay, go to
Wow.
go to Revelation 20.
Wow. I eat that.
All right, and then you're gonna be, still a little summer. We're at the end of summer, but they're gonna be out.
Got it.
You read it.
Book of Revelations, chapter 20, verse 1.
Go to I want to hit the point on that. Go start at 2.
Revelation 20, verse 2. And he laid hold on the dragon, that old serpent, which is the devil and Satan, and bound him 1,000 years.
Now, when you go into the 1,000-year period, that's going into the fall of Rome. All right, when the Western Roman Empire fell, and it fell to the Israelites, which were known as Jews because of the Southern Kingdom, the ones that took them down. Okay, and it was successful. It was officially established during Constantine the Great. All right, and that was 325 AD. All right, that's why it was known as the Holy Roman Empire, because the holy people. Who was the holy people? The Israelites. That's why it says holy. All right, it became the Holy Roman Empire because the holy people of the Lord, the Israelites, had ruled. They took it over. Even though they had a couple of emperors that was already that was in there, but it was successfully established as the Holy Roman Empire, meaning the Israelites had totally took it over and ruled. And in 1325, over here in Italy, you have the beginning of iconoclasm. Okay, so that was a 1,000-year period right there where they would shut up, live in the Caucasus Mountain. Okay, where the southern kingdom had pushed them up in there, and that's when that's fulfillment of Genesis the 3rd chapter, which speaks about the serpent. The Lord will make him crawl upon his belly. That's them living in the caves, the rocks, and the mountains, and they actually walking around and like monkeys and shit. Upon thy belly shalt thou go. You gotta read it. That old serpent, which was a man, okay, a bestial man, a beast-like man. All right, which the same spirit that was the serpent was in Cain, and after the flood it came through Esau. That same spirit. All right, the word devil just means slanderer. Okay, who's the one that slandered his brother? Esau. When it says in Psalms 50 and what's that, verse 19? Somebody want to grab that, Psalms 50 and 19? It says, thou slanderest thy own brother, thy mother's son. You know what I'm saying? That 1,000-year period, which is known as the Dark Ages, or also known as, they say Dark Ages, they call it medieval. It's just because, they say it because the Dark Ages was ruling. And in particular, the southern kingdom of Israel, through the Benjamin Levi, they took over Europe. They ruled in Europe. The Moors are nothing but just Israelites. Southern kingdom Israelites, or Morenos, they nothing but southern kingdom Israelites, having different wars with the Arabs and Ishmaelites, the sons of Ishmael, okay? But they secretly would practice what? The laws of their fathers, the laws of the Jews. The word Moreno means Jew or Moor. Moor means dark or black. Negro, same thing. Niger, same thing. Because the scriptures tell you that the Jews, which go back to the word Judah, Jeremiah 14:2, that they are black unto the ground. Okay? Meaning what? To be dark, like unto the ground. Okay? Go ahead. So,
Psalms
oh, yeah, okay. That's
50 and 19. Thou givest thy mouth to evil,
there you go.
and thy tongue frameth deceit.
Yep. Keep going. What else to say on that?
19.
Yep.
Thou sittest and speakest against thy brother. Thou slanderest thine own mother's son.
Now, why would it say that? Remember when the days to be delivered, all right, the twins that was in Rebekah's womb, the first came out red all over like a hairy garment, and it said Isaac loved him and he did eat of his venison, right? And it says, who? Rebekah loved Jacob. Rebekah loved Jacob. Okay? She didn't care for Esau. She loved Jacob. So, who is referring to? Esau slandering Jacob. Okay? The accuser of thy brethren. That's Esau. Then accusing them to the Most High. That's Esau. That's why the scriptures say, woe unto you that give thy neighbor strong drink, that thou mayest stick upon his nakedness. That's Esau all fucking day, man. Esau put drugs into Jacob's community. Esau put guns into Jacob's community. All this is recorded history. The crack cocaine epidemic, Esau did that shit. Esau put crack cocaine into our neighborhoods. Yeah. Esau put drugs onto the reservations. Esau put drugs and all kind of evil things into the barrios. That was Esau doing. Which all three I just named was all the dwellings of Israelites, so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. The Israelites of the Bible. Okay? Now let's go back to Revelation 20. Read that verse 2. Matter of fact, go to verse go to verse what was that? 2, read 2 to 3 again.
Revelation 20, verse 2. And he laid hold on the dragon, that old serpent, which is the devil and Satan, and bound him 1,000 years,
Mhm.
and cast him into the bottomless pit.
Into the bottomless pit, which is, when you look at the bottomless pit, it's talking about Europe. Where the Caucasus Mountain at? Europe. Because why? They lack resources. Just like over here, just like, see, America was full of resources, all right? America has resources. But the bottomless pit would be Europe because they have to import things over there. Naturally, because nothing grows over there. It's a mountainous range. Not a mountains over there. They can't grow like in the valley or the plains of the land. You grow crops, you know, a lot of vegetation, where agriculture is booming, you know. So a lot of that stuff is imported. I mean, you can grow like, what's over in Europe, like over Ukraine and Russia, they got, you can grow wheat over there. That's why that grain deal is so important. They produce a lot of the world's grain right there. But far as that's rare. That's rare. I mean, they produce natural gas, but that's mainly coming from Russia.
Right. Mineral wealth they don't have.
Mineral, yes, right. They like, yes, there you go. There you go. There you go. So, keep reading.
And cast him into the bottomless pit, and shut him up, and set a seal upon him, that he should deceive the nations no more, till the 1,000 years should be fulfilled.
Hey, read up. Put some up into that.
Till the 1,000 years should be fulfilled.
There you go.
And after that he must be loose a little season.
Loose a little season. That's the Renaissance. They began the Renaissance, and they came into power. All right, the 1300s, and then in the same time period, you had the Borgia family, which is known as the crime family. When you seen what? Evil start to multiply on earth again.
Again. What's this?
You see? That was known as the first crown family. And they took that. Then they started to what? Take down the Southern Kingdom over in Europe. And you had that's during the time the Moors. Some of them still have strongholds over in Europe, over in Spain.
Scotland.
Yep, yeah, Scotland. The UK, you can say the UK, because the UK they had strongholds all over there. Scotland, France, England,
Right.
Ireland, all that.
Yeah, you still see our fortresses and chateaus over there.
Yep.
They didn't build none of that stuff.
Exactly. Because a lot of them was beautiful. It was when you go into the history of the Moors, when they began to look at what the Moors had built as far as the architectural structure of it, they was amazed of the buildings that they had and the palaces they had made. And so you have a few of them still up, like you was going into. Okay, go ahead.
It's the book of Ezekiel chapter 25 verse 12. What says thus saith.
No. Hold that one. That's but we can read that.
Verse 12.
That's a good precept.
Ezekiel 25:12. Thus saith the Most High, because that Edom has dealt against the house of Judah, taking vengeance, and has greatly offended, and revenged himself upon them.
They did that during the time when Judah was going into the Babylonian captivity, when they was having to capture Judah. Okay, they did that during the time of the Greeks, Romans. Okay, so yeah, they did offend by putting their hands on Judah. All right, and then even more so when they came into power again during the Renaissance period, they started to take down who first? The tents of Judah. This is where Isabella of Spain, before it was her and Cortez them and Christopher Columbus them, they come from Spain, right? They took down Jake because it was the tents of Judah that was ruling over there. Okay. So they took them down, and then they started sending voyages over here during the latter of the 1400s. This guy Christopher Columbus, as you're doing, man. It's Christopher Columb. All right. And they had the Moors. All right. They even had the Moors on the slave ships or the vessels to translate. They was a Hebrew, known as the Hebrew interpreters, showing you that they knew that when they came over here to this side of the earth, okay, that they would want to encounter some Israelites. They know good and damn well that they was coming over here to take down the other tribes of Israel, which you have the northern tribes, as they call us. Okay, go to back to Revelation 20, verse 8.
It's the book of
They tell you
Revelation
that he's going to go out and deceive the nations.
20, verse 4.
8.
8, verse 8. And shall go out to deceive the nations, which are in the four quarters of the earth. Gog and Magog. Together.
That's it. Read it again, the first part again.
And shall go out to deceive the nations, which are in the four quarters of the earth.
See? And they did that. Somebody will grab Job 9:24. That's a good precept right now. They did deceive the nations.
Job
Matter of fact, we're
9:24.
going to grab...
Got it,
whoever got it, call him to read it.
Job 9, verse 24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covered the faces of the judges thereof.
Yeah, that's when they began to take down the faces of the judges thereof. 13 and 25, when you have the Renaissance began, they had a thing called iconoclasm, which is, like I said, destruction of images, mainly religious images that pertain to the Bible. All right, because the Israelites was ruling, they had to make them faces of the real judges, all right, look like them. So they did 1 Maccabees 3 and 48 all over again. This is where you got this guy. You got this guy right here. Okay. This is where you get this guy right here. The other white meat. The so-called white Jesus. Okay. The so-called white Jesus is the image they put up. Okay. So it says the earth is given to the hand of the wicked. He covered the faces of the judges. The first judge started with the Most High Heavenly Father. Okay? And then his son. All right, the angels.
Prophets.
Yeah, the Israelites, which are all the Israelites. Okay? Now everybody is all of a sudden, so-called white, according to Esau. Okay? This is why Esau is mad at this truth, because this truth is cutting him. All right, the truth is cutting him because why? He's been telling lies all this long time. Okay, if somebody will grab 2nd Ezra, the 6th chapter, I believe that's the 27th verse, where it says the deceit should be put out. And then somebody else grab Isaiah.
I got 2 edges.
Somebody will grab Isaiah 25 and 7. You got Esdras.
Yeah.
When you read,
which
6th chapter and the 27th verse.
6th chapter, 27th verse.
Yep.
2nd Ezra, 6th chapter, 27th verse. For evil shall be put out, and deceit shall be quenched.
Yeah, deceit, because who's a deceitful man? Esau, Edom. All right? He went out to deceive the nations. To thinking he's the most high look like him. That his son look like him. The people of the Lord, the Israelites look like him. See? There's a lot that Esau has to pay for.
28.
All right? And that's why the Lord has prepared him to great future judgments. Keep going.
Chapter 28, verse 28. As for faith, it shall flourish. Corruption shall be overcome, and the truth which hath been so long without fruit shall be declared.
That's what Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah is doing through his men, from the apostles on down. All right, even starting with Abba Biblis, which was Elijah and the reincarnation. Okay. All right, that I believe that was Elijah, because that's when the Lord started to wake up Jake. Okay, the Lord started to wake up Jake during the time of Abimelech. All right, remember the Lord said He would send Elijah. Somebody grab Malachi 4. It says Elijah. The Lord would send Elijah the prophet. Read that what you got.
Isaiah 25, verse 7. And He will destroy in this mountain the face of the covering cast over all people.
There you go. The covering cast of all people, meaning what? The nation's identities. Because when you look at the nations, the so-called Chinese ain't going by the name of Moab or the Moabites. All right, they ain't going by the name Moab or Moabites. The so-called Japanese ain't going by Ammon. The so-called Arabs ain't going by the Ishmaelites. The sons of Ham. All right, you got Cush, you have Put, you have Canaan. All right, you have Mizraim. They're not going by those names. Okay. Even Esau. All right, Esau is taking on our nationality. Okay. So the Lord has destroyed this covering cast over all people. You go to these so-called churches, they don't talk about the covering cast over all people. They don't even know how to identify the nation. They don't even tell you who the people of the Lord are. As a matter of fact, in our community, you have these so-called black pastors that got so-called white images, showing you that they don't know the scriptures. That's why the scriptures say that the wisdom uttered her voice in the streets, because in the streets you see the Lord's men. You see the prophets of the Lord. All right. It says in Isaiah 30 and 20 that thine eyes shall see thy teachers. Somebody will grab that real quick. You, matter of fact, you hold it. What you holding?
Malachi.
Yeah, hold that Malachi. Grab that. I just called for.
Isaiah 20.
Huh?
20.
Isaiah 30 verse 20. We gonna come to that real quick. Hold on.
Isaiah
30 and verse 20.
chapter 30, verse 20. And though the Lord give you the bread of adversity,
The bread of adversity. Go ahead.
and the water of affliction, yet shall not thy teachers be removed into a corner
Exactly. Go ahead.
anymore, but thy eyes shall see thy teachers,
Keep reading.
and thy ears shall hear a word behind thee, saying, This is the way.
This is the way. All right. The truth. No, you're not no Negro. No, you're not no so-called African American. You're not Puerto Rican. You're not Mexican. Okay? You so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, you're the people of the Lord. You're the Israelites. You're the 12 tribes of Israel. Your forefathers went into slavery by ships. Your fathers are being oppressed together. We're the ones that the nations came against to cut us off from being a nation. You look into the corners of the earth, which are the ghettos, the hoods. Who you living right beside? You see the so-called Hispanics right beside the so-called blacks, because you're brothers, man. You're fucking brothers, man. You looking at him like it's your enemy? No, that's your brother, man. You come from the same man, Jacob, whose name changed to Israel. Keep going. Say, read that again, start at the top of that verse again.
And thy ears shall hear a word behind thee, saying, This is the way.
This is the way. Go ahead.
Walk ye in it. When ye turn to the right hand, and when ye turn to the left, ye shall defile also the covering of thy graven images.
That's right. Go put down them idols that that we've been worshiping. Okay, these graven images made with man's hands. You see Jake walking around town with a cross on his chest. Don't even know what that cross represents. You got Jake into Islam and shit, praying to a rock, bowing to a rock. That's what moved the Most High to anger. Because Exodus 25th chapter, it tell you that drop that, go to that, and then read what you got too real quick.
Okay.
Go to Exodus 20 chapter, about the 4th verse, 3rd or 4th verse, where it said, Thou shalt not bow down thyself to him.
It's the book of Exodus,
This is the truth right here.
Chapter 20, verse 4. Let's start at verse 3.
Mhm.
Thou shalt have no other gods before me.
Thou shalt not have no other gods before the Most High Heavenly Father. All right? The Most High name is Yahweh. And his son name is Yahushua. That's why we say Yahweh Bahasham. Bahasham means in the name. Yahushua is the Messiah's name. Not Jesus, not Yeshua, but Yahushua. That's the name. What is his name and what is his son's name if thou can't tell? Read that.
Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath,
right.
or that is in the water underneath, under the earth. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them.
Exactly. All right. Now that's it. That's it on that. Go to what you got, Malachi. You want
I got Malachi 4 and
about
5.
Yep.
Yes, that's the one you asked for.
Yep.
Malachi 4, verse 5. Behold, I will send you Elijah the prophet before the coming of the great and dreadful day of the Lord.
Yep. And that man was a man by the name of Abba Biblos. We learned that great man. All right. And we learned that what? He was the one the Most High raised up to turn the hearts of the children back into the fathers. Back into the Father, singular. All right? Remember the Lord said he's going to send Elijah. Read it again. Read that what you got again.
Malachi chapter 4, verse 5. Behold, I will send you Elijah the prophet
Revelation 11:11.
before the coming of the great and dreadful day of the Lord.
Revelation 11:11. And then we're going to go to Ezekiel 37.
It's the book of Revelation, chapter 11, verse 11.
There you go.
And after 3 days, and hath the spirit of life.
And a half. Read that again.
And after 3 days, and hath the spirit of life from the Most High entered into them, and they stood upon their feet, and great fear fell upon them which saw them.
Yeah, because why? 3.5 days was referring to what? 1619. When they brought over the southern kingdom to test Judah on slave ships. I said trips, that was the same thing. Say slave trips, slave ships. That's fulfillment of that, right? So from 1619 you add on 350, because the 3.5 days referring to 350 years. Okay, that's when the Lord woke up his people. Okay, go to if somebody got a calculator, you can look this up too. You can calculate this up: 1619 plus 350. And that's when it's, the man named Abba Biblos, all right, that came from the commandment keepers. Which again, we received this great. Now, do I know him personally? No, I don't know him personally. But I believe through the spirit and the power of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, that was Elijah, because that's when Jacob started beginning to know that they Israelites. Okay? That's who our elders came to know the truth. From Elder Yaquab to King Mashal, all of them. All right?
1969.
1969. And that's the same time when they tried to send them to heaven with the space program.
Yeah.
What did it say in Obadiah? Verse 2, or what's that? Verse 2, Obadiah verse 2? Oh, get that. Go Obadiah verse 2.
It's the book of Obadiah, chapter 1, verse 2.
You got Ezekiel 37?
Behold, I have made thee small among the heathen. Thou art greatly despised.
Keep reading.
The pride of thy heart has deceived thee. Thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock.
Yeah, Caucasians.
Who's that?
Caucasian means cave dweller, mountain dweller. The Edomites lived up there in the mountains. Okay, go ahead.
Whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? Thou Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle.
Yeah, the eagle is a proud bird, and it flies the highest among the fowls of the air. That's Esau. He's a man of pride. Okay, he's arrogant and he's prideful. And what the scriptures say about pride? Pride is hateful before the Heavenly Father and men. All right, pride leads to destruction. Okay.
Yes.
And though thou set thy nest among the
Though
stars,
thou set thy nest among the stars,
thence will I bring thee down,
this will I bring thee down.
Spaceful.
said
The
Yahweh.
space, the space program, saith Yahweh. Okay, now read what you got.
Want me to start at 1?
What you holding? No,
37.
go to
Ezekiel 37.
yeah, you go to Ezekiel. You started because it said in 3.5 days I will raise them. Read Revelation 11:11 again. Then we're gonna read that. Go to Ezekiel 37. You can start at verse. Let's start at verse 10 or 11. Let's see. Go to start at 9 and read down. We have to read this 11:11 again.
Ezekiel.
Hold on. Read 11:11.
Revelation 11, verse 11. And after 3 days, and half the spirit of life from the Most High entered into them.
Yeah, which is knowledge. The spirit of life, you breathe the breath on them. There's knowledge and understanding of the scriptures. It's truth. Okay? That's where you get the truth from, the scriptures. Okay? It says after 3.5 days, what?
And they stood upon their feet.
Read the top again. Read the top again.
And after 3 days, and in half the spirit of life from the Most High entered into them.
All right, now read that in Ezekiel 37, starting now.
Ezekiel 37 and 9. Then said he unto me, prophesy unto the wind.
Prophesy.
Prophesy unto the wind.
Uh-huh.
Prophesy, son of man, and say to the wind, thus saith the Lord God, come from the four winds, O breath, and breathe upon these slain that they may live.
Keep reading.
So I prophesied, and as he commanded me, and the breath came into them, and they lived and stood upon their feet, an exceeding great army.
That's right, because the Lord caused the breath, all right, to enter into his people, which is the knowledge, wisdom, understanding of the scriptures. The truth. It said, the Lord said in Isaiah 11th chapter that he would make them of quick understanding. Okay? And the Lord said he's going to set us right before the face of the heathen. Okay? Because when the heathen see us, they get nervous. They get scared. Because why? We're not out here causing the carnal fight with no one. And the scriptures say that the weapons of our warfare are not carnal. All right? But mighty through the Lord to the pulling down of strongholds, because these different vain philosophies, all right, and religions have caused our people to err. Okay? And so our people did, fall into these different, things that cause us to go away from our power, which is the Heavenly Father and the Son. Okay? And then that's how we became Gentiles. Because we took on the mind of being Gentiles. That's why I said in Ephesians 2, the second chapter, that what? That you were in times past Gentiles in the flesh.
Yes.
We became uncircumcised through what? Learning what the heathen doing. Worshiping their idols. Learning their ways. Okay? That's why you look up the word Greek in the New Testament when it's talking about there's no difference between the Jew and the Greek, because Israelites became Greeks because of why? They was Hellenized. Because the Edomites Hellenized Jacob. You either was, hey, this is what they put before your face. And Antiochus, surname Epiphanes, Antiochus IV, he was putting you to death if you didn't consent to do or call yourself a Greek and take on their customs and practices and learn their language and all that stuff. That's why you look at the word Greek in the New Testament, you think, oh, it's talking about the Gentiles, the heathen nations. No. Israelites became Gentiles. Okay? Go to now. Keep reading that. As a matter of fact, go to read real quick. Hold on, what you got? Proverbs 21:16 real quick, because it tells you that we wandered out of the way of understanding. Okay? That's why when he's reading Ezekiel 37 chapter, he's comparing the house of Israel unto what? Dry bones. Okay? Read that real quick and we're going to come back to you.
Proverbs 21:16. The man that wandereth out of the way of understanding.
Read it, put some up in there. Read it.
The man that wandereth out of the way of understanding shall remain in the congregation of the dead.
And that's how Israelites became. We became the congregation of the dead, the dry bones. Keep reading what you got in Ezekiel 37, where you left off at. Keep reading.
Ezekiel 37, verse number 10. So I prophesied as he commanded me, and the breath came into them, and they lived and stood upon their feet, an exceeding great army. Then verse 11, then he said unto me, Son of man, these bones are the whole house of Israel.
The whole house of Israel. Hold off where you left off here. Revelation 11:8 now. Revelation 11:8 now. We're going to come back to you. So now we know that the Israelites went another way of understanding, all right, didn't keep the laws, commandments, statutes, and judgments that the Heavenly Father had given to our forefathers to teach their generations, all right, throughout all their generations to keep. Because that was our understanding and wisdom inside the nations. That's what Moses told our forefathers in Deuteronomy the 4th chapter. He said that this shall be your wisdom and understanding inside of the nations. That they may look upon thee and say that this is a wise and understanding people. Okay? Revelation 11:8.
Revelation 11:8. And their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt.
See? Spiritually, which is spiritually called Sodom, because it spiritually feel like we're in Sodom and Gomorrah. Okay? When you see man lying with mankind, that happened in Sodom and Gomorrah. That's why Sodom and Gomorrah was destroyed and the surrounding cities thereof. So America is that. America is Sodom and Gomorrah all over again. What Egypt means? Bondage, the house of bondage. Who served the house of bondage in old Egypt? The Israelites, the 12 tribes of Israel. The so-called Negro, Latino, Native Americans, our forefathers. That was our ancestors that served captivity there. That was our ancestors that the Lord delivered from the Egyptians that was oppressing us, that put hard bondage upon us. What did the Edomites do to us in this time? They put hard bondage upon us. When 1619 came to pass, and they brought over the southern kingdom, give me Jeremiah 50:33. Jeremiah 50:33 tell you what happened when 1619 happened, and they brought over the southern kingdom, and they had the northern tribes and southern tribes together. We was being what? Enslaved together, oppressed together, even as it is this very day. That's why Baruch said, behold, we are yet this day in our captivity. We remain subject to payments. All right, go ahead, read that.
Book of Jeremiah, chapter 50, verse 33. Thus saith the Most High, the children of Israel,
The children of Israel,
and the children of Judah.
and the children of Judah, because the children of Israel was referring to the northern tribes. After King Solomon died, it split. But during the time of Rehoboam and Jeroboam, we split. Okay? The Babylonians took away the southern kingdom, all right, the tents of Judah, and the Syrians took away us northern tribes. Okay? So sometimes when we say Israel, it's talking about some of the northern tribes. Sometimes when we say Ephraim, which was ahead of the northern tribes, it's talking about the northern tribes. When we say Judah, it's talking about the southern kingdom. Now we know that Judah overall is the lead tribe, the so-called Negro. That's the tribe of Judah. Overall, they is the lead tribe. The scepter shall not depart from Judah. Remember that. The Messiah, Yahushua, came through who? The royal bloodline of Judah. That's why they talk about Mary. No, Joseph is important because Joseph came from the house of David.
Yes.
Your bloodline is determined by your father.
Yes. You gotta know that. Yes.
Okay, and then through reincarnation, we know that the son of David was Solomon. We know that Solomon, all right, is what? Known as the king of peace. The scriptures tell you who's the king of peace. That's reincarnation, by the way. Before Yahushua came as himself, he came as Solomon. He came as Isaac. He came as Melchizedek. He came as the first Adam. No, he's known as the first Adam. He's the head of the Alahayim. When the world was being created, heaven and earth were being created. The Christian pastors don't know that. But let's keep going. Where
Thus
we at?
saith the Lord of hosts. The children of Israel and the children of Judah were oppressed together.
We're all pressed together. Go ahead.
And all that took them captives held them fast.
So the Edomites, the Spanish was Edomites. The English was Edomites. The French was Edomites. So-called white men. Okay? They came over to oppress us. And yes, they've been kicking our asses at that time. Because the Lord sent them against us. Because we were disobedient. So in righteousness, the Lord punished us, man. Because everything the Lord do is right. Everything that Heavenly Father do is righteous.
Yes.
Okay? The Lord sent them, these heathen against us. That's because we got a line with Him. And we're His children. And you don't tell a father what to do with his children. You gonna tell a so-called Negro, Latino American what to do with their children. They'll think you crazy. These my damn children. I do what I want to do with them. That's how the Heavenly Father dealt with us. That's why these curses are upon us. The Lord's still kicking our ass. Because we got to bear the indignation of the Lord because we sinned against the Lord. All right? So the children of Israel and the children of Judah are oppressed together. All right? Now we're going back to Ezekiel 37. And who's oppressing us? Esau, Edom. Who controls America? The so-called white man, Esau, Edom. He's not white, he's red. They're the ones that's ruling over us, man. The elites go back to who? Esau, Edom. Rothschild means red child.
Red shield.
Red shields, red child, same thing, red children. Who's a red child in the Bible? Esau, Edom. And the first came out red all over like a hairy garment.
Hit him in the head.
I didn't learn this growing up in the church, as Jake called it, church. None of us did. We learned this when we learned the truth. Keep going, Ezekiel 37.
Ezekiel chapter 37, verse 11. Then he said unto me, Son of man, these bones are the whole house of Israel.
Whole house of Israel.
Behold, they say, our bones are dried,
Yep.
and our hope is lost.
Yeah, because once we went into slavery, all right, Psalms 83, right? The nations came against us, all right, and helped cut us off from being a nation. All right, the nation of Edom, Elam, Ashur, Aram, all right, Ishmael, Moab, Ammon, Cush, Mizraim, all the heathen that's mentioned in the Psalms 83rd chapter, they came against us. They cut us off from being a nation. They know good and damn well we ain't no African Americans. We ain't no goddamn Puerto Ricans. All right? We ain't no Cubans. Okay? Again, that's that covering cast that's over us. That Esau put on us. That's why the language we spoke, they know there was the ancient Paleo-Hebrew. You think they found the Decalogue stone, also known as the Lost Moon Stone, and it had ancient Paleo-style Hebrew on it, for no reason, which belonged to the so-called Aztecs, the so-called Mexicans? That wasn't by coincidence. That was a landmark made there by the so-called Aztecs, because why? That's the tribe of Issachar, which means my hireling. Okay?
Excuse me.
Yeah, you are.
How y'all doing?
You are. All right? Because they know they was encountering the Israelites. Keep going.
We are cut off for our parts.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 12. Therefore,
You want to get Amos 3, that's cool.
prophecy,
Amos 3 and 1.
and say unto
Yeah,
them,
prophesy.
Thus saith the Lord God, Behold, O my people, I will open your graves and cause you to come up out of your graves.
That's right. The Lord going to cause us to what? Live mentally and spiritually. Okay? Mentally and spiritually.
And bring you into the land of Israel.
And that's prophecy too. Lord gonna take us back to the land of Israel in a glorious fashion by way of the chariots, which Esau calls UFOs. None of that happened yet. None of those things have taken place yet. Because why? The Lord haven't gathered his people, all right, to take us back to our land yet. Okay? Now, what I call for?
Amos 3.
Amos 3 and 1.
It's the book of Amos, chapter 3, verse 1. Hear this word, that the Lord has spoken against you, O children of Israel, against the whole family which I brought up from the land of Egypt, saying, you only have I known of all the families of the earth.
So the Lord only knows the children of Israel. Go to Psalms 147:19. You can hold that Ezekiel. Go to Psalms 147:19. See, they don't tell you this, man. And hey, the Lord gonna destroy you so-called pastors, man. I don't care if you're in the Catholic Church, the Baptist Church, the Church of God in Christ, the Ecclesia. You Israelite, the Lord gonna destroy you for misleading his sheep. Because you niggas went to this theologian school and you know, man. Come to find out, this guy Charleston White, I think it's just his pops or whatever. I watched the interview of his. He said he don't believe in God, and he said, well, and he said something that was true. He said, well, the God that our people was taught was the blonde hair, blue-eyed God. But when you read the Bible, the scriptures, it speaks about a man, and he got an afro on his head too, Charleston White pops. He said they had the woolly hair and the dark skin. So what did he tell you in other words? Why would he say that? And this man had been in theologian school. So in my mind, it's telling me what? You Israelites went to the theologian school, you know who the Israelites are. Proverbs 11:21 says, no hands on the hand, the wicked shall not go unpunished. You have 2/3 of our people that's going to be punished right along with the wicked, Esau, Edom, the Edomites. And you pastors out there, the Lord going to get you niggas.
Jeremiah.
That's right. It speaks about that, that's right. You mislead the Lord's sheep. The Lord said that he that don't gather with me scattereth abroad. Here it is, the Lord's gathering his sheep, and you trying to keep the sheep scattered. You wonder why Jake come out of these so-called churches? I don't care if you're in the Seventh-day Adventist or whatever, that's nonsense. Now they keep some of the Levitical laws, eating clean and unclean. No, they know the difference between unclean and unclean foods. They reverence the Sabbath, they don't know what the Sabbath is. I ain't knocking that. But it's still Christianity. The Lord didn't give us Christianity. The Lord gave us laws, commandments, statutes, and judgments. When you want to know the Sabbath, when you look up the Sabbath in the scriptures, it say lunar. Lunar refers to what? The moon. The cycle of the moon. Because the new moon is what? Zero illumination. That's when the new moon starts. And that day on, you count from there. And to the new cycle of the moon. The 7th day. 14th day. 21st day. That's how you count it. And in this society, you know, they got numbers, not numbers, but names of days. So whatever day it falls on, maybe on Tuesday to Wednesday Eve, whatever eve it falls on for that to the new moon cycle, you just keep that same day till the new moon come in. That's how you keep the Sabbath. So you need to come out of that too. God, people into Jehovah's wickedness. When they tell you the Most High don't speak Greek. His son don't speak Greek. The Israelites' language ain't Greek. Now you had Israelites speaking the Greek language that was Hellenized. But what's the language of the Israelites?
Hebrew.
That's right, brother. What you got?
Psalms 147.
Yeah, you read that, then we go back to Psalm 37.
Psalms 147, verse 19. He showeth his word unto Jacob, and statutes and his judgments.
Now who on the highways and hedges teaching? Jacob. Whether you like a so-called Negro, Latino, or Native American, or you like a speckled bird, because remember, it don't matter how you look.
The spirit.
It's a spirit. That's right. It's a spirit. The Lord says his heritage is like a speckled bird that has several colors. You may see a so-called white man. We say that white boy got soul. You know why? Because the spirit in him is an Israelite. He's like an Edomite, but he's Israelite. And through a process of time, his forefathers laid down with so-called white women, Edomite women, okay? And that complexion changed, especially if your son keep laying down with so-called white women. And we bring up Blake Griffin because that's a perfect example. Blake Griffin father is so-called Haitian. He's dark as you can get. But he laid down with a so-called white woman. Now she could be an Israelite, but her complexion of her skin made that complexion light. And then you have Blake Griffin that got with a so-called white woman. He had a son too. Now his son got the blonde hair. He got the pale skin. You trace that bloodline through the what? The house of your fathers. That's the pedigree, the bloodline. Numbers 1 and 18. He Israelite. That's the truth right there. So when you see them, when you look at them so-called white boys, that they got talent, and they my man from Kansas City Chiefs, Travis Kelce. Now if he an Israelite, I don't know what an Israelite look like. As far as you know what I'm saying, the characteristics, his demeanor, the spirit within him, he date number so-called black women. You think he wear all that jewelry and ice for? That's what Israelites do. You look now. I believe this guy Harry is Jake, Prince Harry. But what's the Israelites known to do? Wear jewelry. Because why? That royal spirit was within us.
Yes, always.
The first thing Jake do when they get money is what? Get the bling bling. Because royal people got a what? Bling. May not be in rulership, but it damn near look like we in rulership when you put that jewelry on.
Yes.
Don't it though? Out.
Yes, it do.
Coach Prime.
Yes.
They don't like him. Cause why?
Because that spirit.
That spirit in him. He ain't arrogant.
He's just not gonna bow to you.
He show you what the Israelite man, and he's in his wickedness.
Of course.
But he's showing you the influence that the Israelites have. Because we the flavor of the earth.
The salt.
The salt of the earth. We're lively stones. You took an Edomite town and turned it into a block party. Mordecai wrote like a block party. They say like the BET Awards.
Read that flavor.
Even in our lower state, we still shine. We still shine.
That's our Father.
The Most High said he won't give his glory to another, man. In our captivity, we still shining. Now the real light is this knowledge, is truth. Of course. But they hate him because he's an Israelite. And he's showing all kinds of people flocking unto him. All right? Let's pick up where we left off at. People wonder, not that I bring it up, you don't have to bring it up. That dude reminded me of Reuben. He might be the same tribe I'm from. He's an avid sportsman, meaning very enthusiastic sportsman, show passion in sports. He's from down out there in Florida, even though we everywhere. But I'm just saying. That dude, he had that, show off that long nose, No, go ahead, I'm just talking shit. I gotta talk a little shit. And he ain't taking too many L's. It's this side joke. We're gonna keep reading.
This is Ezekiel 37, verse number 13. And ye shall know that I am the Lord when I have opened your graves.
You open our graves, meaning what? Cause us to live by putting that breath into us again. Knowledge into us, understanding into us of who we are. All right? What the Lord saying, Jude? I will therefore put you in remembrance, though you once knew this. All right? I will therefore put you in remembrance, though you once knew this. How that the Lord what? Saving our forefathers from Egypt. It mentions Egypt. That deliverance is still talked about because why? That was a great deliverance. The deliverance from spiritual Sodom and Egypt, okay, it's going to be even greater. Because the so-called UFOs, which are the chariots, it's time.
It's time.
It's time.
You look around.
They bugging out. They in constant counsels about the so-called UFOs. They don't know what to do with themselves. They call them foreign technology or foreign drones. That technology Esau can't fathom because why? It's something they can't make up. How can a chariot that can move from one side of heaven to the other, it can appear and disappear? Esau ain't got no technology like that. Going on to the third and fourth dimension, because we see up to the third dimension, but the naked eye can see. The fourth dimension, the spirit world, it go in and out of it. He can't fathom what kind of technology that is because it's not of this world. They call the angels alien because why? They're not of this world. So Esau he's nervous, man. All right, because why? That exceeding army, all right, which the Israelites, all right, have been risen by Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, and we're reading from the book, which is the Bible. The same book that Jake despised. That's a white man's book. They can't prove that. You go in this book to tell you the people of the Lord, look what? My skin's black upon me. I'm black become me.
Burned in the furnace.
That's, yeah, like brass is burnt into the furnace. Anything burns is gonna turn dark. Right? Hair of pure wool. I just did a quick video last night of sheep being sheared, and I did a hair comparison. That's really what it was. They shearing sheep. That's wool. Wool is sheep hair. And the only people on the earth got hair like that, all right, that stands out, the so-called Negroes, and some Hispanics got that same hair texture as well. Some Native Americans got that hair texture as well too.
If you actually look up woolly hair, it will say Negro.
Exactly. But the people of the Lord can't be the Negroes and the Hispanics and Native Americans. You see some Native Americans, they got afros.
Yeah.
They don't just got straight hair. I got my family. Now my family on my dad's side is mainly Ruber. Straight up mainly Ruber, okay? You see some of us average height. 5'10", 5'9", 5'10". Some of us well over 6 foot. Some of us got beards. Some of us ain't got no beards. Some of us got the wavy, curly, thick hair. Some of us got afros. The soft little afros. Okay? Some hair look like a Jerry curl. All right? That's because the Lord, okay, when He created us, He didn't just make us one complexion.
He's a variety.
Variety, that's right.
He loves variety.
The Lord loves variety. That's it, brother. See? Let's continue on the scripture. I said that to say again, the Lord's heritage is a speckled bird. He may be light bright. He got a big ass afro. He may be super dark. Dark as you, brother. But his hair is wavy and curly. All right? Let's go. I'm just giving you an example because, and then I got cousins. Hold on. I got cousins. I got one cousin, two of them in particular. I got a few of them. They mamas is Edomites. You know how light they is? How pale they look? Well, you see my uncle, he dark as me or darker. That's an example. I'm just giving you examples of speckled birds. So Travis Kelce, I look his bloodline up, he go back to the English, the Anglo-Saxons. What do Anglo-Saxon mean? Angelic sons of Isaac.
Yeah.
Okay? Everybody you look upon ain't gonna be no, He's white, dude. He's an Edomite. No, he's that's Elam. No. Again, the spirit, like you said earlier, brother. All right, let's go.
Ezekiel 37, verse number 14. And I shall put my spirit in you, and ye shall live. And I shall place you in your own land. Then shall ye know that I, the Lord, have spoken it and performed it, saith the Lord.
That's right. So the Lord is calling his people to live, and you gotta read no more, but they tell you that the Lord is gonna cause the tribes to come together. Judah and his companion, you know what I'm saying? Ephraim and his companion. All right, you know it says Joseph in the stick in the hand of Ephraim, you know, his companion, because like again Ephraim, all right, and Joseph is interchangeable. Okay. But the point is, the Lord is going to bring his people together and give them the elect. See? All right, let's go to Jeremiah 23 and let's go to Jeremiah 23.
Jeremiah, the book of Jeremiah, chapter 23.
Matter of fact, hold on 1 second.
Verse 1.
That's it right.
Verse what?
Let me see. I'm gonna verbatim. I want to get it verbatim. Matter of fact, Shlaki, Jeremiah 3 and 15. I'm sorry. Jeremiah chapter 3, verse 15.
Jeremiah.
Then we go back to Jeremiah 23 and 4. You want to get Jeremiah 23 and 4?
Jeremiah, chapter 3, verse 15.
All right, go on, man.
And I will give you pastors according to mine heart, which shall feed you with knowledge and understanding.
There you go. There you go. Now read that Jeremiah 23 4.
Jeremiah 23 and 4. And I will set up shepherds over them, which shall feed them, and they shall fear no more, nor be dismayed.
Yep.
Neither shall they be lacking, saith the Most High.
That's right. Because why? The Lord giving us his truth. Okay? This is why Esau is afraid. Because if we was to gather up and say that we're Christians or Muslims or whatever, whatever, he would have a problem with that. The fact that we saying that we Israelites, I know.